I wasn't born with much, but $1 billion dream. So, Milo, let's go.
No question, no lies, I'm a boss bitch. And I got, I'ma grind till my heart quits. Yeah, she hungry for the money and she's all in. Cause she no slave and she gonna win. Big bands to the side, ain't no losses. Stack bands, no ties, except for my kid. Only thing that's on her mind is to be rich.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Phoenix Novell, and thank you for tuning in to another Bawse Bitch Tips episode. Now, a lot of you guys know that I am an artist. I'm a singer as well as a painter. And I recently started selling my prints to my original artwork. I just released a 14-piece art collection called Living on Purpose. And I'll showcase that artwork, that collection to you guys before this video is over. But these are what the prints look like, okay? So you can buy the original artwork if you want, like the actual original art piece that I made. But if you don't want to buy that, you can also order a print from me. I usually do the 8x11 prints all the way up to 11x16. I can mail it to you originally signed and autographed with a message with your name directly to you, and anything you want me to say for instance you want to get this for a family member or a loved one or somebody's birthday or something like that, I can also send a personalized message to them as well and mail it to them. Now, at the time, I do not do international shipping because I am not trying to get anybody's print stuck in customs. That could be crazy. I had to go through that myself before in the past, and I don't want to wish that on nobody. So unfortunately for you guys, international, at the moment I'm not offering that. But domestic, if you're in USA, you can get a print from me any day, anytime, okay? So this is again what they look like, the prints, and I'll show you the actual artwork before the video concludes. Okay, that was just me talking about my art. Now, today's episode of Bawse Bitch Tips, I am going to discuss one of my chapters, and it's called Addiction. I'm going to read a little excerpt to you guys, and then I'm going to do my little spiel in terms of what my thoughts are and how me as a boss bitch, how I react and how I deal with people that I love and care about who are going through addictions. Okay, so anything done in excess can be considered an addiction. Since a child, my addiction has always been sugar. Now, when I always say that, a lot of people say, sugar, really, seriously? But yes, anything can become an addiction, and mine was sweets and sugar. I can get over a broken relationship after a long cry or two. I'm not a drinker, smoker, or foodie, but sugar? Well, let's just say I always find a way to satisfy that sweet tooth of mine, cavity ridden and all. I know well that it's not a need, and the sweet I like has absolutely no nutritional value. I will always choose my health and wellness over sugar, but sometimes I do indulge in a few too many Krispy Kreme heavenly dough balls. Real talk. Some people are a lot more stuck when trying to kick their addictions. Some even blow all of their savings and their partners' and parents' savings on their bad habits and desperately need outside help to find themselves again. I know a few women who can't seem to get the perfect body even after having a few surgeries. They're chasing that natural-looking youthful glow that they once had or seen in others. Sadly, it usually isn't even about them, but more about social media likes and fan praise. Some of these women look so plastic in person, but they don't mind it as long as they're wrinkle-free and bouncy instead of saggy, right? A close acquaintance of mine that I once shared a nice little kiss with early in my 20s has become a full-blown weed head. I mean, he smokes pot to the point where he is angry and can't focus without it. I think it's important to express concern in a polite way to those you care for whom are displaying signs of addictive behavior. Sometimes the people with the addiction don't know how they're being perceived. And although I do believe that it's wrong to tell someone how to live their life, I also believe that it's not the best thing to pretend all is well if something is negatively affecting a person or people you care for. Ask, listen, and assist if you are not met with too much opposition. Try not to impose your will to help and your good intentions on others. Instead, offer to listen, because sometimes all a person needs is to hear themselves talk to get the very message they have been running from. We are slaves to anything that we need or think we need for our survival. No matter how much we sugarcoat that fact to make it more palatable and less depressing, it is what it be. You're in control of how you choose to see it, but a boss bitch understands clearly the difference between beneficial slavery and detrimental bondage. Now, what I mean by that is like air, oxygen. I consider us to be beneficial slaves of that because, yes, we need it to live, but living is something that the majority or a lot of us want to do, so it's beneficial because it's helping us exist. And detrimental bondage is nicotine, or something that destroys you in the process of actually making you feel good, if you will. Something that is killing your body while it's making you feel good. Like sugar, it's like there is nothing in there besides something that's trying to kill you that feels good in the moment. I know I'm exaggerating, but it's in everything, but when you actually look at what it does to the body and you look at what it is, you can't, sorry, my hair is a little funky right now, I had to straighten it out, but you can't deny the fact that it's not really helping you besides making you feel good in the moment. So that's the difference between beneficial slavery and detrimental bondage. I wrote that chapter because I was actually working with somebody at the time on a gig I was doing that had a drug addiction. And when you're a performer, it's so easy to fall into that lifestyle because it's all around you. Everybody's doing it. Everybody's offering it to you. You got alcohol, and then somebody is taking a hit of this over here, and then you're hanging out at after parties. And that's not my scene. It's not something I've ever done, and not something I'm interested in doing it. But I've been around a lot of artists who do and who have. And I really didn't know how to talk to this person. I really didn't know how to offer my help, but I felt compelled to. I felt compelled to say something. It's like sometimes you just feel compelled to say nothing and just sit there and talk and be there. But I felt compelled to help, and I almost felt helpless. I almost felt useless because it was just like, I can't relate to you. I don't know what it's like to be high. I don't know what it's like to desire to be high or to chase that thing. But I remember mentioning this to a friend of mine who told me, just say what's on your heart. Speak what you think, and speak what you can relate to. And so that's when I realized, okay, well, I have some addictions of my own. They don't look like yours. They may not be as extreme, or may not be as socially judged as others, but they're my battle. And sometimes just talking to somebody else about your battle helps them see their self clearly, or helps them navigate and find a way to get back to where they feel like they're in a position of control, or they want to take control of it. And this is where anybody can help, because we all have something, some triggers, some vice, some thoughts, something that we need help with. Addiction is a brutal beast, and it's one that I've learned. It could be, just you are addicted to suffering. It could be that you're addicted to abusive relationships. Sift through your life. And this is on my Bawse Bitch Tips channel, because the reason why I make these videos is for empowerment. Is to help you get to a place where you feel like I am not a slave to anything at all, any body at all, any substance at all, any thought process at all, any predispositions at all. I am in control. And in order to find that control, you have to look at the areas, you have to look at yourself. You have to turn the lights on the inside and not be afraid to really figure out what's in there. Because a lot of people can see it through things that you don't even think are related. Like it comes out, what we are on the inside comes out in ways that we can't even imagine. Why did I do that? Why did I say that? Why do I feel this way? Because you got something in there that you ain't dealing with, that you haven't dealt with, but it has to come out because that's what energy does. I feel like we're all a lot more alike than we realize. And when you're not afraid to share your journey or a journey of a loved one that a loved one in your life that went through something similar to what somebody else is going through, when you're not afraid to share those similarities, you'll be surprised at the amount of help that you'll be to other people. Just sharing and showing them how showing them how they're not alone, right? Just by sharing that story tells them, oh God, I'm not the only one who's dealing with this. I'm not so weak in myself that, I'm pathetic. Other people are going through these things too. People who you wouldn't even assume or expect. Addiction is something that we should talk about more. And sometimes it stems from childhood or something that happened traumatic. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you were just curious about this thing and for some reason you were in a place at the time and then now you're just full-blown hooked or addicted to something, and there it is. Like, it's not all just one recipe for this. That's not how it works. And that's why it's important to talk about your particular story, because your particular story is your own, but in some way, somehow, it may be useful to somebody else to hear it. And the Bawse Bitch mindset is one that isn't afraid to share, is one that isn't afraid to dig deep, is one that isn't afraid to see the truth of you, as well as to help others see the truth within themselves. But you have to first start with yourself and deal with your addictions, deal with your toxic choices, deal with the parts about you that you hide and don't like, and help others do the same by doing it first yourself. Because sometimes it just takes you not being afraid to examine what you are. That helps somebody else do the same for themselves. Oh wow, well she did this or he did that. Oh okay, well maybe I can too. Like, it's harder, like when you see a celebrity doing it, you're thinking, oh, they got money for rehab and they got money for this and that. But what I learned recently is that you don't have to pay for every rehab out there. There are a lot of free resources for people who have things that they need to work through, who are looking for help. And when you actually start deciding to look, you'll find those things. So don't be afraid to communicate. Don't be afraid to talk about it. Don't be afraid to examine. And don't think that because your vice or your situation isn't as detrimental as somebody else's, that it can't be one day if you remain unchecked and don't deal with your situations. Once again, it's your girl Phoenix Novell, and thank you for tuning in to another Bawse Bitch Tips episode. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas in terms of topics that I should cover, feel free to send me a message at askthebawse@gmail.com, ASKTHEBAWSE@gmail.com. Thanks for tuning in, guys. See you later. Peace.
She's no slave, and she gonna win. No slave, from sun up to sun up, I'm grinding. Put time in, cause I want that money. I was made to be made. You don't play with my paper, no faking this my God,
That shit I like new bills. Hustling has become a habit that she can't kill. Fuck a silver spoon, Phoenix